Welcome to Set to Shelf, the Movie Props podcast. Join Dan and Alexander as they explore the world of movie memorabilia, from blockbuster auctions and passionate collectors to industry news and conversations with the professionals who bring it all to life. If it's on set or on the shelf, we're covering it.
All right, we are back from Set to Shelf, the Movie Props podcast. I'm Dan Gaston.
I'm Alexander Komarov.
And this week, we're joined by special effects artist Thomas Bellissimo, whose incredible work has helped shape some of the most memorable movies in Hollywood, including The Mask, Saw, and From Dusk Till Dawn. Tommy has spent his career bringing wild ideas to life through practical effects, props, and creature design, and I'm excited to dig into the stories behind the magic. Thomas, thanks for being here. It's great to have you on the show.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me.
Cool. This is great. Tommy, you've chatted in the past before, about your book, just about your time working on some of my favorite films, and finally got you on the podcast, which is awesome. And it's really, thank you for taking time out on a Sunday, especially. So just really just ready to dive in and hear your stories.
Okay.
Cool.
And boy, do I have stories.
January.
Right off the bat, what made you pursue this career in special effects?
Well, I'll try to make that quick. I moved from Brooklyn to Los Angeles many years ago. In the early 80s, actually. And I was an artist, a book and magazine illustrator working from home. And always wanted to work from home as an illustrator, be freelance and shit. And I finally got it. So here I'm living in Hermosa Beach, California. And the apartment that I moved into, I got free cable TV. And MTV was just happening. And I'm watching MTV as I'm working at home drawing and stuff, and I'm looking at these rock videos that are starting to come out, and I'm like, fuck, man, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be part of this new thing that's happening here. So I saved enough money to pay my bills and stuff for like 6 months, and I called up a friend in New York, asked, what's the biggest rock video company in Los Angeles? Because I'm sure somebody's making these in Los Angeles. And he told me it was a company called Limelight Productions. So I started calling up Limelight and trying to get a job. And of course, they were like, no, 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 no. And I kept on calling them, and they kept on saying no. And I just kept on friggin' calling them. And thank God there wasn't, they couldn't tell who was calling, back
Caller
then.
ID,
Yeah. No caller ID back then. So I just kept on calling. And finally, the person that was answering the phone said, okay, I got a job for you. What are you doing day after tomorrow? I says, nothing. I'm ready. What can I do? And they says, okay. And they gave me the address. They said, you're going to be a PA. I said, what's a PA? They says, you help whoever needs your help on the set, blah, 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 blah. I says, okay. I show up there early. I work all day long. We wrap out like around 6 o'clock at night. My ass is kicked, from running all over the place. And I'm like, wow, that was great. There was no problem. And they only paid $50 a day, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't pay for gasoline. So I said, that was great, blah, blah, blah. They go, okay, second location. What second location? What's that? Oh, well, we got to finish filming at this other place. So I end up driving about 45 minutes from there to another location, which was Castaic Lake. And we worked all night long. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, they says, okay, that's a wrap. And then they said, and I was driving a convertible Cadillac at the time. And they said, an old convertible Cadillac, but it was clean. And they says, hey, Tom, could you take the singer home? It was this chick singer. It was the first time ever she was doing a rock video. Yep. And I said, yeah. And I gave her a ride home, and we talked. And that video was called Burning Up for Your Love. And that chick's name was Madonna.
Wow.
That's
No
impressive.
way.
Wow.
Yeah, it was Madonna's first video. Yeah. So from there, I started doing a lot of other rock videos. and and they would, I was helping everybody, and one of the things that I started end up doing was smoke, and then next thing I know, I'm being called the effects guy, and I'm like, "Oh, you're effects guy, okay, whatever," because they didn't. It was non-union, so everybody did everything, kind of a thing. And, I dug it, and next thing I know, I'm getting called by DPs and directors to do smoke on sets, because smoke was a big deal back then, for shafts of light. And, from there, actually, I won the MTV award for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers Don't Come Around Here No More, Alice in Wonderland rock video. And, I didn't get the award, the director got it, but it was for special effects. And just one thing led to another, and I started doing TV. Tales from the Dark Side was first television series, and I started doing movies like, Sid and Nancy and a bunch of other stuff, and that's how I broke out.
Insane. Wow, that's one hell of a story. And Madonna, I was, I didn't. Wow, that really caught me by surprise. That's incredible. That's
Me
that's
too.
wow.
And I worked with her several times afterwards, so it was pretty cool. I got to bump into her at other times doing other rock videos, and then even on Four Rooms. I worked with Madonna on Four Rooms, Quentin Tarantino directing, and not her, episode, but, I did all the episodes on Four Rooms.
Oh wow, how was it? How was it to work with Tarantino?
Okay. I gotta once again, man, these stories, they're long, and I'm trying to make them as
No,
as
by all
possible.
means, dive in.
Okay, so I worked a bunch with, doing effects on set on a lot of horror movies, okay, and horror television shows. And I got to know, K&B Effects, Greg Nicotera and Bob and, Bob Kurtzman, those guys. And, anyway, I've done so much stuff hand in hand with them, blood spurting, and, while I'm doing this, they're doing that kind of a thing. And one day I get a telephone call, and they says, "Hey, Tom, we're working on the show. This guy who's helping us write this other movie is directing a show, and, the effects guy on it, he's not too happy with him, and he has this big scene coming up, and, could you come in and help us out on it? We're doing the makeup effects on it, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Yeah, when?" And they said, "Day after tomorrow," or whatever, and I said, "Yeah, fine, blah, blah, blah," and they says, "We'll pay you $350. That's all we could pay you because it's coming out of our pocket." Okay, no problem, Greg Nicotera. I go down there, and, I get introduced to the director, and, I got the permit and everything. I'm gonna blow up this thing. And, I wanna meet the director first, and they bring me in back of this house, and there is the director. He's playing one of the characters because it's a cheap movie, and he's putting water on Samuel Jackson and John Travolta, and it was Quentin, and I blew up the head in the back seat of Pulp Fiction.
Wow, no
Yeah.
way.
That's the only thing I did on Pulp Fiction, and, from there, I got to know Quentin, and I had been working with Robert Rodriguez, and next thing I know, there's From Dusk Till Dawn and Four Rooms, and then Quentin's hiring me to do all his stuff, and, I'm Quentin's guy,
Yeah.
just like K&B Effects is Quentin's guys, and we're doing all this stuff, and I got into a fight with Quentin while we were prepping Kill Bill, about a snow scene, and, I got fired.
No way.
Yeah, so Quentin fired me, and I found out about Quentin firing me on a Monday morning after I went to a party with him that weekend. Didn't even say anything.
No.
Yeah, 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 and then, so I get fired, I'm all fucking pissed off, and the thing I brought up was the snow. They want to use plastic snow in China because they were gonna shoot the scene in China where Lucy Liu is fighting, Uma Thurman.
Mhm.
And plastic snow, at that time, it had come out that people were getting, what do you call, I forgot the name of the shock from breathing in the plastic, toxic shock.
Okay.
So I brought all these snows. Now I'm not gonna do the snow
Yeah.
in China. I'm just bringing stuff and fucking presenting it. And I presented it at this fucking meeting that we're having and stuff, and after the meeting, Quentin got pissed off after I fucking talked about the snow, and I found out it was because Uma Thurman told him She would not work in plastic snow, and I let the fucking cat out of the bag. Nobody told me. I didn't fucking know. So I got fired. So it's cool. Weeks go by, a month goes by, they're filming, I'm on to other things. Actually, I'm doing Charlie's Angels too. So I'm home and I'm working on a fucking great movie, doing all these explosions and shit. And I get a telephone call one day, and it's a production manager who fired me for Quentin. And I answer the phone, and he's going, "Hey, Tom, how you doing, man? Yeah, sorry about what happened and everything else." I said, "Yeah, it's cool. I'm working on Charlie's Angels too, so no big fucking deal, blah, 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 blah." He goes, "Listen, what's the name of that snow product that you brought up at the meeting and everything?" And I says, "Oh, the snow that I got fired for?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." Ass fucking queen. Boom. And I fucking hung up.
That's awesome.
It's a true story. So now, years go by. Quentin does all these fucking movies. This will blow your shit away, okay? I'm working on How to Get Away with Murder. So I'm at the sound stages on Sunset Boulevard, and I had been there for months. And I'm getting a cup of coffee from this coffee vendor that I know, and we're talking, and I turn and I look, and this piss yellow Mustang comes in and parks. And I go, "Did you see who the fuck is driving that car?" And he says, "Yeah, it's Quentin Tarantino. He's prepping a movie here." I said, "Fuck." So I watch Quentin get out. Some chick comes over, was talking to Quentin. He fucking leaves and goes up into this building. So I'm thinking, I get on my bicycle. I ride over to my trailer. I come back with one of my business cards, and I write on it, "QT, miss working with you, Tommy B." And I stick it in his door window. I go to work. I'm working on How to Get Away with Murder. Few hours go by, they don't need me on set. Okay, now I'm gonna go check to see what happened with Quentin. I go, the car's fucking gone. This is okay. I look around on the floor, don't see the card on the floor ripped in half or anything. I go over to the coffee guy. I says, "Quentin left." He goes, "Yeah, I left like 15, 20 minutes ago and everything." I says, "Did you see if he got my card?" He goes, "No, I didn't see, but it doesn't look like he fucking threw it away." I says, "No." 2 days later, I get a telephone call. "Quentin Tarantino wants you to look at the script. It's called Hateful Eight."
Whoa.
So they give me the script. His production is on the same lot I'm on. And I read the fucking script. I get in contact with him and I says, "Yeah, I read this fucking script. It's fucking great." He says, "Okay." They get me a meeting with Quentin. I go there. I'm waiting now. I haven't talked to fucking Quentin in years, right? So here I am fucking waiting and stuff. And finally somebody goes, "Tom, Quentin will see you now." And they bring me over to his office. Opens up the door. "Hey, Tom, how you doing? How's it going?" Shakes my hand. "Come on in. Sit down, blah, blah, blah." Okay. I sit down. I look around. He has a big office. There's a couple of old movie posters up, something in the corner like a Victrola, and that's about it. And he has a table, and on his table is a goblet with ice water in it. Nothing else, right? Nothing that I could remember right now. This is fucking crazy. So I sit down. I said, "How you doing?" He says, "Good." He goes, uh, hold on. Drinks a little bit of water, puts it down. And I'm looking at him, I'm going, "God, this guy got fucking quirkier than last time I fucking worked with him, man." He takes the goblet, he drinks some water, he puts it down, he looks at me, he goes, "Now, this is true story, okay? And the only person that could fucking fight me about this is Quentin, right?"
Yeah.
He looks at me and he goes, "You motherfucker, that fucking snow, blah, blah." And I went, "What?
Oh.
He fucking brought you in here to fucking yell at me about the fucking I'm looking around, where's that door that I fucking came in on? And he's fucking yelling at me, and I'm getting up, and he goes, "No, no, no, hold on, sit down. You were right, and I was wrong." And I'm like, "Holy shit." He goes, "Yeah, I want to apologize." I said, "Wait a minute. Why didn't you call me when you found out that I was right and you were wrong. And he goes, well, one thing led to another. And I was busy. I've been so busy. I said, yeah, you've been busy. But I could have fucking worked on all your movies.
Yeah.
He goes, I know. But, you're here now. I put a burr up my ass.
Yeah, I would.
I'm fucking out. I'm listening to this fucking guy and stuff. And then he starts asking me questions about the script and everything. And I go, first of all, I heard you're going to shoot this. He's telling me he's going to shoot this in like Panavision and blah, blah, blah on top of this fucking mountain. I said, so the whole thing is being shot at location? He goes, yeah. He says, even most of the stuff happens in a cabin. He goes, yeah. So the cabin is going to be built someplace. He goes, it's going to be built on top of the mountain. I says, you're going to shoot inside of a cabin on top of the mountain instead of shooting it on a stage? And he goes, yeah. I said, why? He goes, oh, I want to see the breath. I want the actors to be cold. I says, well, then build it on a fucking freezer stage. There's like Johnny Depp in Scissorhands. There's one part where he's cutting up the fucking tree at the end and the snow is falling. That's all shot on a cold stage, a freezer that they turned into just that set. So he goes, no, I want to shoot this all on top of this fucking mountain, blah, 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 in the snow and this and that and everything else. I went, oh, okay. He goes, sounds like you don't want to get cold. I says, no, I don't want to get cold. I'm sleeping right now with my wife every night here in Los Angeles. I don't really want to go on top of a fucking mountain and be outside of a cabin in the snow while you're filming inside. No,
Yeah.
no. He goes, okay. All right. Shook hands. That was the last time I seen Quentin.
Wow. I mean, Quentin's a quirky guy, so I definitely that all tracks, but wow, I had no idea. That's
Yeah, he's a genius at his own right, and I've had great fucking times with him. I mean, from dusk till dawn, we fucking laughed our fucking asses off. I did Jackie Brown with him. Jackie Brown, when Robert De Niro is driving the Volkswagen van, right? And Samuel Jackson's in the passenger seat. I'm on the floor with my feet in between their two seats. Quentin is on the bench in back of me on camera, and in back of him, in the last part of the fucking Volkswagen van, is the sound guy. That's it. The five of us in the fucking car driving around downtown Los Angeles while fucking De Niro is driving this fucking thing. All the dialogue is happening.
Yeah.
Pull over, motherfucker. Pull over, la, la, la. Shoots him. I did the fucking bullet hit. I had to make a flame come out of the gun and fucking blood go on the window and everything.
that's awesome.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I got to work, he introduced me to, that morning, he introduced me to Robert De Niro. I said, I got to talk to Robert De Niro about this bullet hit and stuff. He says, yeah, fine. Goes over, knocks on Robert De Niro's dressing room door. We're on location. Trailer door opens up. It's Robert fucking De Niro. I'm looking at Robert De Niro. Quentin goes, Bobby, Tom, Bobby, and walks away. So I got to work with Robert De Niro because of Quentin Tarantino. So, he's helped me. He's just a quirky motherfucker, and most geniuses are. So
Yeah,
that's what I say.
and coming from New York, so that was definitely probably an insane moment to meet De Niro and work with him. So
Yeah,
awesome.
but you can't believe how many people, when they meet me or I go to a horror con or something, they go, "Oh, you worked with Quentin Tarantino," and I go, "Yeah, I worked with Quentin." And meanwhile, I'm thinking, man, they don't know how fucking nuts this motherfucker is, man. It's great. Quentin, if you happen to see this, if somebody happens to show this to you, I apologize if I fucking fuck you up, but I told the truth.
There you go. We hope Quinn sees this. That means we're people are viewing it and listening to it. Yeah, that's a great story. Wow, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Tom, you have such a big variety of films you worked on. Is there like a genre that you prefer, or is it just like up to a project?
Well, horror, because well, it's changing now. A lot of visual effects and stuff like that are taking over and whatnot and everything. But I come from back in the day where a lot of the shit was done right on set. Visual effects was there to help special effects or to to help, like, if we did an explosion, to help just make a little bit more fire or whatever, like, they were there really to help the director and to help special effects make stuff look cooler, and to deliver shots that can't be done, out of space or whatever. These days, everything, it seems to me, is like, "Oh, we'll do that in post, we'll do that in post." Then people look at it and go, "Wow, it looks like a fucking video game."
Yeah.
I blew up so much shit in my career, from fucking cars to buildings to so I've done a lot of action, a lot of shoot 'em up, blow 'em up stuff and everything, and that's great, but, uh, 6 seasons of Tales from the Crypt and all their movies, 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill, even fucking Bordello of Blood, which I did insert shots for and stuff. They shot most of it in Canada, and then they brought it back here. All those movies, I fucking worked on and stuff. Demon Knight, we just a lot of action, a lot of effects. It's effect after effect after effect after effect. So that's what I prefer, or I preferred. Now I prefer fishing and relaxing and stuff.
That's awesome. A little more calm, and you enjoyed it. You deserve it, and you had one hell of a career, and you definitely made your impact on the industry.
Well, my 2 sons, I have 4 children. I have 2 boys and 2 girls, and they're all adults now. And, all of them I put through college trying to get them not to be in the movie industry. All 4 of them are in the movie industry.
Wow.
No
My
way.
2 yeah, my 2 sons do special effects, mechanical effects on set and everything. So, you know, it's crazy.
It's in the
Yeah, they
in the
took
Bellissimo
they took
blood.
their steps. Yeah.
And my kids will say something to me like, "You deserve it, Dad." And my response to that is, "I don't know if I deserve it. I earned it,
Yep.
but I don't know if I deserve it." So, I'm having a good time right now, man. I'm living my best life right now. I have all the stories. I came out unscaled, everything is good, never really hurt anybody or anything. So, with all the fucking shit I did, so I'm a very happy man.
Amazing.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
And piggybacking off of that, what was the most, if you recall, maybe one or a hand or a few? What's one of the most challenging effects you've had to pull off on set, and how did you make it work?
That's a good one. Challenging. Oh, okay. I worked on and I acted in like a 3-week acting deal on it. Believe it or not, they cut most of my shit out, which is fine with me. American History X.
Okay.
Did you ever see that? Edward Norton and Eddie Furlong?
Yep.
Okay. So the director, Tony, he loved shooting scenes. Everything was on film, and he loved shooting scenes at over 300 frames per second. So literally, the cameras go that fast. You only have, so many seconds of film because everything's in super slow motion, right? Eddie Furlong's going to get shot in this scene. Okay. This kid is holding a 45 on Eddie Furlong in a bathroom. The bathroom is a location. It's not a set. It's a location at Venice High School. He's going to shoot it at 300 or more frames per second. He wants this kid holding the gun. He wants to see the gun go off, the flame come out, Eddie Furlong's chest get blown apart, blood go on the fucking wall, and Eddie Furlong go flying backwards into a urinal. And the urinal's real. Everything's hard. You know what I mean? Okay. We get ready to do all this stuff. We rig it all up and everything, and the cameras go, yeah, and action. I can't wait. As soon as he says action, I push the fucking button. Everything goes, blah, blah, blah. It went off beautifully as far as I was concerned. Everybody claps. Eddie, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. La, la, la. Get him up. Blood's all over the place. Now the director is watching it playback in Video Village. So I go over to Video Village and everything. Everybody's going, "Oh, Tom, great job." Blah, blah, blah. And thank you, thank you. So I go, Tony's watching it. We're watching the thing. I says, "How do you like it, Tony?" He goes, "Rubbish." I'm going, now being from Brooklyn, I'm, going, okay, this English fucking guy. Is rubbish like, fag, cigarette, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And I went, "Did you not like it?" And he goes, complete rubbish." I says, "What was rubbish about it?" And he goes, "You work for Quentin Tarantino. There was not enough blood on the wall." And I says, "Well, how much blood do you want on a wall? If that's what it would look like if somebody got shot at
Yeah.
close range." He goes, 50 times more blood. Clean it up. Let's go again." Like, motherfucker. So everybody's in there cleaning up this, that, and everything else. I said, "Okay, well, that's 50 times more blood. I'll fucking give him 50 times more fucking blood." And we get ready to go again. "Eddie Furlong, you okay?" "Yeah, we're going to do the same thing again, blah, blah, blah. There's just going to be a whole lot more blood in back of you." "Okay, cameras roll. Zzz, speed. Action. Ba-boom." Fucking thing goes off. Everything works perfect. Eddie Furlong goes flying back. It's the shot that they use in the movie. Blood. Ba-boom! All over the fucking walls. It looked like a fucking elephant ate a hand grenade. I go back inside that and says, "How was that?" I'm like sticking it to the fucking director. He goes, "Now that was very good. Let's just do it one more time." That was my most challenging fucking shot. Getting 300 and some frames per second, a gun going off, a squib going off, blood going on a wall, and Eddie Furlong flying back on a real location.
Wow. Because real location, you can't really alter anything. It has to pretty much keep it intact, right?
Yeah, we actually put a belt around Eddie Furlong's waist and chest area, connected a cable up to it, ran the cable to the top of the urinal where you push down to make the water flow, put a cable shiv there, the cable hanging down with big sandbags on it, like that weighed much more than Eddie Furlong, and then a trip holding it. And all of these are connected with the flame coming out of the gun, which the kid didn't shoot the gun. I made the flame coming out of it by putting a charge inside of it. Eddie Furlong's chest going off, the blood going all over the back wall and everything, and him being pulled backwards into this urinal, all on one button. That was the challenge.
Wow. And that's something.
I've never seen anything like it since.
And again, that you're piggybacking off that. Like, this stuff you can't really train for. It's more or less you hear you read the script, envision the scene, and it's just all in your mind. You have to okay, you're more or less testing it out, right? I'm assuming.
Absolutely. The best thing a person like me has is the best backup. The people that work with me are much smarter than me in other things.
Yep.
Like, I could weld, but I have welders that fucking weld like you can't believe it, or had, when I ran my business. So you surround yourself, and I learned this from Ford, the guy who started Ford Motor Company. You get the best people around you to give you the best advice, and then you take it from there. So that's what all really good effects guys do. Any effects coordinator that you've ever read about, Mike Menardez or fucking anybody, who does huge movies, surround themselves with the best people that know more about stuff than them.
Yeah, it's a true
That's it.
team. A true team.
And then you figure it out.
Yeah,
Teamwork makes the dream work.
exactly. Yep. Love that.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Tom, is there like a movie or a franchise you wish you worked on in your career?
Good question. Yeah, because I turned it down. And that was
Well, what?
yeah, baby, yeah. Fucking yeah, what's his name?
Really?
Mike Myers.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. I got offered
Powers?
Austin Powers and turned down the first Austin Powers.
Well, Tommy, Alex is
You
a
did?
huge Austin Powers collector.
That's all I collect. Yeah. I have like over, yeah, the biggest collection in the world. I have all the cosmos props.
Wow, yeah.
It's my
So yeah, Mike Minardas ended up doing that. Another guy. I turned it down, and then and after I turned it down, I'm watching this fucking thing. Another movie that I turned down is really weird. My wife said one day, this is years ago, she goes, "Let's go to the movies." This is okay. I don't really like going to movies, but we went to the movies, go watch this thing, and I'm watching this movie, and I'm going, "Is is this a remake?" And she's going, "No." Watching the movie, I'll go, "No, it's gotta be a remake. I've seen this fucking movie before." And she says, "No." And then there was a scene where a plastic bag was flying through the air, and that was, American Beauty.
Oh, wow.
I I read the script for American Beauty and went over how I would do the effects. There wasn't that many effects inside the movie at all, some rain, a bullet hit, this bag flying, la, la, la. And, I ended up turning it down. And then seeing it, I was like, "Fuck, man, what a great movie." It didn't have that many effects, but you don't know, when you're working and somebody hands you a script and you're just looking for the effect and, "Oh, okay, there's a bullet hit. Let me see. Okay, there's rain. There's not enough here for me and my crew." You know what I mean? Sometimes you pass them by. That's it.
It's like preference. You kind of like look at the scripts like, okay, this kind of sounds like fun. This is not the new whatever. Or
It's more than that. The really weird thing is when you're a special effects coordinator, as I was, you more than likely own a shop, all your equipment, you have a bunch of people work for you and stuff. So when you read a script, you're saying, "How can I keep all my people working and how can my company make as much money as it can and stuff?" And, that happens, quite often. I got sent a script many, many years ago, and then I think I told you this story. I got sent the script and I'm reading the script. I'm going, "Fuck, man, these visual effects are unbelievable, man, blah, blah, blah." And I went in for the interview for the movie and stuff, and I went over all the effects and how I would do the mechanicals compared to how they would use the visuals on top of it and this and that and everything else. And the guy says, "Well, thank you very much," and blah, 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 blah. And I said, "What do I have to do to leave here and you shake my hand and give me this job? I want this movie." And he goes, "Well, Tom, we brought you in here. We have another guy that we're thinking about that we worked with before, and he wanted too much money, so we wanted to see your budget and blah, blah, blah." I says, "What do I have to do?" He goes, "You have to do this movie for 95,000." Now, meanwhile, I gave him a budget of 160,000.
Oh, man.
Okay? I stood up, reached out my hand, I said, "You got it." He just looked at me, he goes, Not a penny over 95,000." I said, "Unless you change something, and I'll tell you ahead of time what that will cost you, this movie that I'm reading right here, right now, filled with all these fucking effects, blah, 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 I'll do it for 95,000." He goes, "Can you?" And I says, "I can. I won't make any fucking money, but I want this fucking movie." And he shook my hand in front of his producer that was above him, and I got the job, and that was called The Mask.
Yep. Yeah, yep, you told me that. Yep.
oh
Yeah.
wow,
So I did The Mask because I knew it would be up for an Academy Award. It was just way ahead of its time. And Jim Carrey was nobody. As a matter of fact, they just finished using him for Pet Detective, and it wasn't even out yet. So he was the white guy from In Living Color. He was just a comedian that I seen on TV that was pretty cool. It was the project itself, reading all this shit and going, "Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh," and I did it for we ended up charging just over 100,000, but that was because they added a few different things and stuff. But yeah. So
Speaking of The Mask, definitely a film we wanted to dive into because it's one of my favorites. Tommy, and that film is very full of effects. You kind of, maybe just talk us through like your time working on that film, some of the effects you worked on, especially working with Jim Carrey. That must have been definitely something that you stands out in your career.
yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff inside of it. I think one of the hardest things that kind of passes by, nobody even will ever know that it was the hardest thing to rig was his car falling apart.
Really?
Because he drives his car onto the bridge, and we had to make that car bumper fall off, and this fall off, and that fall off, and this fall off. Everything was on cables and trips, and all my guys were in back of the fucking car pulling cables and doing stuff so that that car would work, from Jim kicking the fucking bumper and stuff. And he almost hurt himself doing that because he kicked and he slipped. But yeah, and we did a lot of stuff with the mask flying through the window, excuse me, and coming back, and it was really a great movie. The Coco Bongo, the and one of the biggest fuck ups in my career happened on that fucking movie. And anybody who worked on that movie that you interview, if you ever get to talk to them, will tell you this story because it's fucking legendary. In the Coco Bondo, one of the last scenes is they're having all these slot machines and this and that and everything else. It's just, the fight is going to happen or whatever and stuff, right? Hanging from the ceiling was a giant piggy bank, okay, that the art department built, and it's filled with money, okay? And they're dumping all this fucking money into this fucking piggy bank. And the shot goes, they shoot it with a machine gun, it tears in half, dumping all the fucking money out, right? Okay. So my crew is not building this giant pig. Art department is going to build this giant pig, which, it's that gray area. We want to do it. They said they're going to fucking do it. Okay, do it. So I said to them, listen, this thing got to be made out of fucking foam. Okay, carved out of foam, because I got to blow it in half, and the money has to fall out and this and that and everything else. And they said, yes. Okay. All right. We get ready we're hanging this thing up at the ceiling and stuff and hitting it. And it's fucking hard. Hey, this fucking thing's supposed to be made out of foam. I mean, you can feel it's mostly made out of foam, but what is this hard shell on it? Oh, we use Bondo. Bondo? Yeah, we had to make it nice and shiny and slick on the outside. We made it out of foam, like you said, and then we skinned it with Bondo. Well, fucking Bondo is like shooting razor blades when it blows up, because it's thin and it's fucking hard, right? It's for cars. It's not for,
Yep.
Anyway. Holy shit. Okay. So we get ready. We put all these fucking bullet hits inside of it and everything. And I mean, there's like, I don't know, 75 bullet hits inside of them. We put it in such a way so that hopefully it will rip this fucking thing apart. We'll keep everybody away, so because Bondo is going to go flying. We don't want anybody to get fucking hurt. This thing will rip apart, open up like it said, and the fucking money will come out. All right. Get ready to do it. Cameras are on it. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 fucking cameras on it. Everybody's out of the room. They're safe and everything else. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Look at it. It doesn't break in half. There's fucking huge gapping holes all inside this fucking thing, but it's held together. And you can see all the money, and no bullshit. One bill went zip, 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 zip. I look at my crew looks at me like, holy shit. The director comes running over. What the fuck is that? I said, you fucking tell me. I can't fucking believe this happened. He goes, I want you to blow that fucking thing in half. And he's fucking yelling at me. I'm like, okay, don't fucking, calm down. We get ladders. I said to my guys, okay, bring out, and I tell them the explosive I want to use, which is a bigger explosive, because I got to make sure this fucking thing is fucking going to go down. All right. We go up on ladders. We're throwing it in. They're fucking waiting, looking at their watches. UPM is fucking having a baby, What the fuck? Okay. Put this fucking, okay, we're ready to go now. All right. Cameras. Okay. Speed. 3, 2, 1. Boom, 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 boom. Fucking blow it up. It opens up. All the money comes out. But because the bullets had shot up and made like powder from the foam, the fucking thing catches on fire.
Oh my God.
And the money drops, and money is on fire, and people are going, run for your lives, fucking running away, and fucking money is fucking floating down on fire inside the fucking place. We put it out. We brought the ladder up. We put the fucking thing out. The smoke inside the place and everything. And it was, as a matter of fact, I think the makeup and wardrobe chicks came out with T-shirts that said "Save the Pig" or something like that. The flaming pig on it. It was, yeah, it was, anyway, it was an experience. But yeah, that happened on the fucking set.
That's amazing. That is legendary. That is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Wow.
Yeah, thanks.
I enjoyed your.
And only somebody who was there knows this, except for now your audience.
I watched a video about the mask signing when you did the prop store video. I watched that yesterday. It was kind of fun story to hear that. And he asked Jim Carrey to sign it, said "Leave me alone." That was a cute little bit.
Yeah. He writes blah 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 on one, and to Tom, "Now leave me alone." Jim Carrey. I have close-up pictures of that mask with his signature and that writing and stuff. It's fucking unbelievable. But yeah, because he doesn't like to sign shit.
Really?
Yeah, even then, he wasn't even really famous.
Yeah.
He's the white guy from In Living Color. And he fucking hated it. He didn't like to sign anything. But he came over and he went, "Hey, great job, man, guys. SFX." And I went, "Oh, yeah. Hey, Jim, could you do me a favor? Could you sign this for me, please?"
Yep.
You could. The guys that I work with were like, "Oh, shit." But yeah, I mean, hey, they're the only mask signed by fucking Jim Carrey.
Amazing.
That's true. And both of those went through prop store, right? I believe.
Yes. Actually, one my partner sold to somebody, and then that person I think sold it through prop store. Mine sold at on propstore.com. Yes. And I still have some stuff, like we built 3 of the reverse bear traps for Saw, the original Saw.
Yep.
And I still have one of them. I sold the other 2, prop store. And yeah, Saw, that was a good one. But Saw was still, to me, is a heartbreaker because everybody that worked on that movie, there was only, as far as I know, there was like $970,000 to make that movie in 18 days. We shot it all at Lacey Studios in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Which is a piece of shit fucking place. But and you could quote me on that. And anyway, we shoot this movie in 18 days, no money. I mean, to tell you the truth, they couldn't even pay me. I had to rent stuff to them. I built the reverse bear trap and rented it to them because they couldn't pay me to build the friggin' thing.
Wow.
They had no fucking money. That's why I owned it.
Yep.
But that movie made so much money. What did the producers do after that? They took it to Canada and they shot all the rest in Canada. Each one costing more and more money and making less than the first one made. Instead of going, hey, the guys who made the first one who got paid fucking shit and did it as favors and stuff like that, you think they'd return something? No, they didn't fucking return shit. So I'm pissed. But I'll tell you another good thing. I told you I have 2 sons and 2 daughters. One of my daughters, Alexandra, is an artist, and I put her through art school and stuff.
Yep.
She's fucking great artist. And she won 2 Clios already. She designs movie posters. Well, she did the poster for Saw 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
The one with the, the 2 things going to the guy's eyes and stuff. So the first poster for the first one was Shawnee wearing the reverse bear trap that I designed and built. And number 10 is designed by my daughter.
That's amazing. That's a full circle. That's great.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And that was that movie too. That poster. I mean, also if you've seen it. So like, essentially, they're like, I believe like they're fluorescent light, like the long like light bulbs that are going into the eyes. Right?
No, I think they're tubes that's supposed to suck his eye.
Oh yeah, they're tubes. Yep, yeah. He puts on the head. It's like a head device.
Yeah, but she made them cross each other, so they did 10 or whatever.
Yeah, for X. Yeah.
She's done so many things. She did the last Aliens movie with the thing on the chick's face and stuff. And
Very cool.
yeah, Romulus, my daughter did that. She's done so many really unbelievable movies, like Beetlejuice she did. She's really, and her boyfriend is a top artist as well. Between the two of them, they just kick ass.
Good team.
With movie posters, yeah.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, did I answer your question? What show would I like to work on? Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I think so. Austin Powers. Yeah, baby. Anything else?
Um,
I mean, there's so many stories, dudes. I just wrote a book.
Yep. Yeah. Tell us about the book. Yeah. Yep. That's what I
Well, the
was
book
like.
is called Special Effects Secrets, and let me see, I got a rough copy of it. Secrets and Tricks of the Trade. So, it's just something I always wanted to do, and I sat down and I wrote it in a week, and I was like, "Man, that was easy," and somebody said to me, "Yeah, it's not really the writing, it's the editing, that will get you."
Mhm.
Okay, so 3 months later or 2.5 months later, "Oh, it's finished." It is the editing. So I did this book. Here's a rough copy
Nice.
of it.
Look at that. I love that. That's awesome.
And, it's gonna be out, I have no publisher. I haven't even talked to a publisher yet. I'm self-publishing. I did it to give out to friends and family, and, I go and I do these horror cons once in a while where I do autographs and shit, and I have, like, blueprints of the reverse bear trap that I signed for people, and I let people hold a reverse bear trap and take pictures with it and stuff, and, I'm gonna be selling these books at that thing, I think.
Amazing.
Wow. That's great. Do you have so yeah, you don't have a publisher yet, but is that your goal too? You want to kind of like have it on Amazon or and sell it, or what's kind of your?
No, to tell you the truth, my whole goal was just to do it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm paying and getting 50 of them made, and what I really wanna do now in my time, now that I'm retired and stuff, like I told you, I'm having a fucking great time retired, uh, is I have a house in Florida, that's where I'm speaking to you from right now, and I got a house in California, and, I wanna go to schools and that are giving, classes in, movie making
Mhm.
and stuff, right?
Nice.
And go and talk to students because I have all these stories and onset experience, and I can answer a lot of questions, maybe not so much tell as many stories as like I'm telling you guys, but like, this is how this is done. This is how that's done. Because I'm sure a lot of teachers that are teaching these kids out there have never really done it for a living. They're just teachers. I want to go as a not expert, but as a person that has lived it for 40 years and be able to talk about Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, these people that kids still fucking look up to, Barry Levinson, blah, blah. I worked with so many fucking people, man, I did What Lies Beneath with, fucking, Bob Zemeckis, Bob Zemeckis is great,
Yep.
so I got all these stories about what happens on set and how we came around to do stuff, that you look at it and you go, somebody else might go, "Well, can't be done," and it's like, no, it he wants it. So how are we going to do this? That's where I'm from. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's from a teaching perspective, as professor at a college, you only go up to certain points where it's like, okay, I've never done this before. I have to bring someone in who's actually lived it, and they can show and tell how to do something when maybe you're faced with a certain challenge, how you can look at it from a different angle, and really just be that that person that can really more or less inspire these kids to keep pushing and want to make a career out of it.
sure. There's a lot of kids out there, and I talk to people at these horror cons who want it. There's so many people want to make films, and they don't want to use the AI visual effects that are happening out there. They want it happening real time. And they asked me, how do you do this and how do you do that? I had one person talk to me about, I see like bullet hits happen on somebody, like on their skin, they get shot in the forehead and stuff and get killed and everything. How can I do that? I mean, I don't have the pyro. I don't, if I do it visual effects wise, then what happens after that? I have to do a makeup effect that matches it, this, that, and everything else. And I said, I'll tell you a way to do it. We have all these different ways to do it, shooting these capsules at people and stuff like that and everything, or doing a squib on their forehead. But I've seen it done this way. I've used this before. You take a can of peas, green peas, open up the can, drain the water, go through the green peas, pick out 20 of the best, roundest, firmest peas you can get. Put them in a jar with fake blood, Karo syrup and coloring and stuff. Leave them there 24 hours. Take the peas out. Now the peas are kind of a reddish. The inside of them is red like the blood that you put them in. The outside is kind of like it's not green anymore. It's like this greenish reddish shit, right? You take that, put it in a pea shooter, point it at the guy's head and say, on one, I'm going to shoot you in the forehead. Okay? Cameras rolling. 3, 2. You don't wait for 1 because 1, that person will blink. So on 2, you hit them in the forehead with that pea. That pea sticks to their forehead, breaks open, looks like a bullet hit, went right through their head, blood drips down their face, and that person falls back. Boom. You did it with a fucking green pea.
It's insane.
There we go. Wow, look at that. Knowledge bombs from Mr. Bellissimo. That's awesome.
See? And stuff like that is in this book. I tell you the difficult way we did stuff and the easy ways and blah, blah, blah. And I explain the equipment and what we had and what it developed into and everything else. So anybody who wants to know, even just out of curiosity, how the fuck did they do that? A lot of the stuff is in this book, and I give examples that if you didn't see the movie, you could go to that movie and go, oh, fuck, that's what he's talking about. Holy shit. Yeah, I got it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Is the one you have the updated version? 'Cause I know you sent me a copy, PDF version a number of months ago. Or
No. That was the first.
first little.
Yeah, that was in Brooklynese. Okay. That was, yeah. Now, my wife did a lot of the editing and correcting of the grammar and stuff, and I went through a lot of stuff. I changed out a lot of pictures. I took some stuff out. It is clean, super ready to go. I'm proud of this one now. If you want, I'll get you a copy of the book. I'll have the books. I think not this week, but next week I'm picking them up from the printer. I'll be back in California picking them up.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to. That would be awesome. Love to dive in, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. No problem at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
You mentioned you have a couple of items. You mentioned you have a couple of items that you kept from the films. Is there like one item that you kept that is personal, you will never part with something that has a nice memory?
It's the reverse bear trap. I just yesterday somebody offered me $30,000 for it and I turned it down. Only 2 of them were painted and one of them was silver. I sold the silver one and I sold the one that has Shawnee's hair stuck in it. But I got the third one here with me. I don't know if I'll ever sell it. I probably someday. Oh, one of the other things I have is in American History X, Eddie Furlong, he at the end of the movie, after he's dead, you hear his voice. He's reading American History X, which is a paper he had to write. Well, Eddie Furlong took that paper that's printed and everything, that supposedly he is bringing to the teacher when he gets shot. And he wrote on it, to Tom, Eddie Furlong, blah, blah, blah. And I got that and pictures of Eddie Furlong, in blood, in the urinal, smiling at me, pictures of me and Eddie Furlong together with blood all around us and shit like that. That I'm probably going to put in a frame and hang up on the wall.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, but I got a bunch of other stuff. And as a matter of fact, one of the weirdest things, and I think I sent this to Dan, I showed it to Dan. One of my friends retired years ago, and he says, I want to sell my trailer with all the shit in it. And I says, okay, I bought his trailer off of him. I ended up giving it to my son, Tristan. And Tristan uses it now to do movies and TV series and stuff. But when we went through it to more modernize it, we were coming across stuff, and there was a lot of blood knives and things like that. And they're all from Dexter.
Yep.
He did all the seasons of Dexter, and one of the things I kept, and I looked at it, I went, "This is fucking ridiculous," was this huge fucking knife. Then I come to find out it's Dexter's kill knife, his main kill, and I got it with the blood gag still built into it and everything. So probably end up selling that someday, but it's I got a bunch of props, man. I sold a bunch, but I still have more.
Mhm.
Yeah, I still got my mask is hanging out over here in the
Yeah, you got the practice one, right? The one that we used on the set and stuff.
yes.
We
Yep. It,
yeah, we Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, that was the one I was gonna say. That's one you essentially used to test all of the effects that the hero masks would undergo during filming, right?
That's right, because we didn't wanna beat the shit out of the hero masks. So it was like, "Okay, well, we need it to go out the window and fucking come back in. Okay, grab that mask, we're gonna fucking tie this to the Jim Carrey is holding it like this, and a frog jumps in his face," which is cut out of the movie. We did all sorts of experiments. That was our mask that was not necessarily filmed, but used in just about every fucking scene,
Wow.
which I kept myself. I wasn't giving it up, and then I got it to Dan.
Dang, yeah, that like you, that's a piece that'll stay with me for a very long time, and it's definitely, yeah, it's a film I grew up with. I grew up in the I grew up in '96. That's when I was born, and Jim Carrey. Watching that film is one of the earliest films I remember, and having it and being connected with you, it definitely means a lot, and it's
Thanks.
great to have.
Yeah. There's I forgot the guy's name, but he's the owner of Dark Horse Comics, right? And they sold the rights to New Line Cinema, I guess, to make The Mask. And when I was working with Barry Levinson years later on Bandits, Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, I was flying almost every weekend back from Oregon to my family in California, and then jumping on a plane going back to Oregon, Alaska Airlines. And one day I'm on first class in Alaska Airlines and stuff, and I look over and I go, "That's the guy from Dark Horse Comics that I met on the set one time." And I went over, I says, "Excuse me, I don't remember your name, but you were," "Yeah, oh, The Mask, oh, yeah." We're shooting the shit, had a great time talking on the plane and stuff. And then he told me, at the end, I told him about that I had some of the masks and everything. He goes, "You know what? I didn't get a mask." I said, "You didn't get one of the masks from the movie The Mask?" And he says, "No, man." He says, "They hardly wanted me on the set, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I got his name and his number and everything else. And about like 2 weeks later, I called him up. I says, "Hey, I'm in your neck of the woods. Can I come by and see you at his office?" He said, "Yeah." I went to his office, and on a plaque with a brass thing with his name, I wrote "The Mask" and his name, and I gave him one of the masks that we used on the movie The Mask for him to hang up on his wall.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just as a gift. I felt, he got fucked more than I did, so yeah. So, you know, I didn't know years later I'd be selling for so much money, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you could dive into that too. It's, you work on these films that are, essentially, staples in, the zeitgeist of pop culture. And, you are touching these, props, the artifacts, on a daily basis. And, I see these things sell for, you know, multiple,
Gobs of
yeah,
money.
pounds of money. What's kind of your thought? Like, are there things that you saw on sets now you look back like, wow, I should have grabbed that, or,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but, I don't know anybody who, acquired more stuff off the set than me. My guys
yep,
looked at me, my crew members and stuff would look at me like, Really, fucking Tom? You taking that, man?" But
yeah.
fucking taking that. I want memories, and they didn't give a fuck. One of the guys who worked for me, Shannon Thompson, great fucking guy. He's an effects coordinator now. He does oh, what the fuck is the name of that? He does a television series, excuse me, over at Paramount. I can't remember the name right now, but Shannon loves his favorite movie is Fight Club. Okay, now I didn't work on Fight Club, but I know the prop master that worked on Fight Club. And we were shooting the shit one time, and he said, "Yeah," when I did Fight Club and everything. I says, "Man, you got anything from Fight Club?" He goes, "Yeah, I think I got their license, like with their pictures on it and stuff like that." So, "Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, I'll get them to you." And then, like, months later or something, we bump into each other. I says, "Hey, man, your trailer's here. I'd like to get those fucking licenses off you." He goes, "I don't have them. I couldn't find them." I says, "Fuck." He goes, "But you know what I do have?" I says, "What?" He goes, "Bar soap."
Nice.
I said, "I'll take it."
Yep.
And he had the bar soap that they use for the poster
Oh, wow.
that says Fight Club. So I got it and I fucking gave it to Shannon. Shannon got it and he got what's his name? Not Ed,
Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt
Yep.
to sign it for him. So Shannon has the soap from Fight Club and he has Brad Pitt autograph the back of it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it was only two of them made. That was it. So, yeah, there's a lot of props that I looked at that I wish I would have took, that I could have took, but there was a lot of stuff that I took. Fuck, man, I took the, whatchamacallit, machetes from Jason Goes to Hell,
Oh, wow.
uh, and for years I used them in my backyard to cut cactus.
No way.
I swear to God, man. I was a fucking cutting cactus in my backyard. What? It's worth $10,000. You know, but the other thing too is, and this is another kind of weird fact, starting right around the end of the 1990s, beginning of the 2000s, fucking shows like New Line Cinema and stuff like that, they started fucking thinking about it and going, everybody who needs to sign this. And the thing that you would sign and said, you would not take anything from the set.
Oh, that's how I got you.
Well, I had taken a bunch it performed that, I think, Harris, early, you know what I mean? But it's all good. Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, a lot of these studios now, it's they want to build up their archives. Whether it's Netflix, Warner Brothers, Paramount, even like look at the Academy Museum. I mean, they're sometimes they don't have stuff in their collection that other people do, and it's like they want to track things down, and it's very interesting how the mindset is shifted from the time pre early 2000s to now. It's how these things are essentially viewed as artifacts and not just things that are used during filming and tossed out.
Yeah.
Because again, there's a money aspect to it, as you know, and there's also the significance of preserving these things for years to come, and making sure that they're cared for essentially.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you think about it, okay, like think about these auctions and how much stuff goes for and whatnot, right? Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? What's his name? Harrison Ford's hat
Yeah.
from Raiders of the Lost Ark, okay? Goes for $200,000 or whatever. How many fucking hats do you think that wardrobe had?
Yeah.
A dozen at least. And how many did they make? How many of these movies did they make? I mean, there's a lot of hats out there. Reverse Bear Trap? Only 3. You know what I mean? There's certain things that are, as far as I'm concerned,
Yep.
much more collectible and more iconic than, this was used by the stunt coordinator or the stunt guy on blah, it's like, yeah, who gives a fuck?
I love it.
So there's certain things that are first sets where people touch them and they're used or they're filmed and everything else and stuff. My Jason Goes to Hell hero mask of Jason, Kane Hodder, everybody calls him Kane, but his real name is Kane. Kane Hodder wrote on it to me, "To Tom, you're next." Kane Hodder. And, that's like, there's only one.
Yeah, and you have it.
Not anymore.
Well,
No,
Gone.
but it's okay. I retired and it's like, I could use the money for a boat and fishing and traveling. I always wanted to go to Tahiti and I went to Tahiti. with my wife and stuff. So I'm um I'm selling off stuff and it's okay. I mean, a lot of the shit I had on my shelves, Leatherface's mask from Leatherface, my kids would play with, you know what I mean? And so it's like, and it's on a fucking shelf. So yeah, I don't doesn't mean that much to me anymore because I got the stories and I have the pictures. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, like, listen, like, keeping things as much as you want to keep them, it's like if you can get the good money for it, it can make it can help your life, enhance your life, do things with family, take vacations, or
exactly.
and you have the pictures, you have the memories, you lived it. Like these things, as much as you love them, you want to pass them on to make the money, or to pass them on to somebody that would really enjoy them. So I totally understand because we can't keep things forever. Listen, we all have a time clock, and it's ticking. So you got to
That's right.
life while we can.
Yeah. I rather sell something and take my whole family to Hawaii and rent a house in Kauai and party our asses off. That's a memory that all of us are gonna remember instead of, "Yeah, that thing I have on the shelf sign over there." And that's I had them on the shelf. A lot of stuff I've had for, since the early '90s,
It's time
so
for
it's
us
like
to go to somebody else to enjoy. Yeah.
it's time to go to somebody who will look at it and go, "Oh my god, that's that." You know what I mean? And you know, instead of just collecting dust on one of my shelves.
Mm. And I'm sure it's tough decisions, but listen, like to your point, totally agree. And it's
Yeah.
you live your life, and it's these things are are passed down. But yeah,
Well, I've had literally dozens of
Nice.
props from sets. So
There is a movie on your resume that I always wanted to watch. I never saw it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me watch it before this interview. It was Army of Darkness. I saw it for the first time a couple of days ago, and it was so much
oh,
fun. Can you tell us something about that experience? Because that looked like a
uh-huh.
fun movie to work on.
Well, Army of Darkness, to tell you the truth, we only worked on, some of the action ending sequences on it.
Okay.
They had shot it already, and, they, put it together, they edited it, and they were going, "Oh, man, we need this." So they needed stuff from inside the hardware store, all this shit, action happening. We shot that in a hardware store in Malibu. So I only really worked that's one of the shows, like Bordello of Blood that I only worked a little bit on. Pulp Fiction, I only blew the head up in the back seat of the car in Pulp Fiction, but fuck, I mean, if you're gonna work on Pulp Fiction, that's what you
yeah,
wanna do. Yeah, it just so happens. Other movies I worked from start to finish, that is not one of them, so,
Yeah.
so I don't really talk too much about that one because I really don't know that much about that one.
Yeah. What about House on Haunted Hill? Because that's another of my favorite. I watched as a teenager.
From beginning to end, I did House on Haunted Hill. We did all the effects on it. We shot on location at Islands of Adventure in Florida for the beginning scene. That there they weren't even open yet, and we were filming and testing stuff on the Hulk. I think it is one of their
Mm.
roller coasters. I hate fucking roller coasters, but and yeah, and but all the rest of it we shot in Los Angeles and stuff. And one of my stories from that thing, and there's so many. I mean, they were great people. We did a lot of really cool shit on that and everything. And towards the end of the thing, Joel Silver showed up on the set, and he was the executive producer. He was also executive producer for Tales from the Crypt, which I did, for 6 seasons. And, I approached Joel. I said, "How you doing, Joel?" Blah, blah, blah. He said, "Yeah, how's it going?" I said, "Good." I says, "Hey, Joel, nothing, nothing. When you gonna let me work on one of your movies, one of your big movies, big, big action movies and stuff?" Because he did, like, huge fucking movies. And he goes, "Sooner than you think, Tom." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, you'll see." Okay. A few weeks later, I get a telephone call. What Lies Beneath? Bob Zemeckis is directing it. Huge movie, like 100 and something $1 million budget and everything. Fucking Joel. Joel, man, he pulled through and everything. I go, I get the movie, I'm prepping it, I'm on a location scout, I'm with Zemeckis, we're walking, we're just shooting the shit and stuff. I says, by the way, Bob, I wanted to thank you and I wanted to thank Joel for giving me this opportunity, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, Joel? Joel who? I said, Joel Silver. I talked to him and I figured he called you and everything. He goes, fuck him. He didn't fucking call me. I was like, fucking Joel Silver fucked me over, man. The whole time I'm going, oh, Joel Silver. And it's like, man, he had nothing to do with me getting this fucking movie, man.
Wow.
Yeah, but so that's sort of off the beaten track of that movie, but that was a great movie.
Man, that's my favorite.
That's awesome. And then, speaking of movies, we touched on a little bit, kind of circling back. So the bear trap. So did you come up with the design for that, or how did that all come about?
Well, the truth of the matter is that James Wan and Lee Wandell, right? Wandell, they wrote it. They were students from Australia who did a teaser. Now, James Wan directed the teaser, and the only part of the teaser that I have ever seen, I think it's the only part, it's what they used to sell the movie, was Lee Wanell in a chair with a reverse bear trap on his fucking head, trying to fucking escape and blah, 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 with the puppet fucking talking.
Yeah,
And
Billy.
whatnot.
Yep.
That's right. So that's how they sold that show. So I end up getting called by one of the producers who says, Tom, I need you to do me a favor. I got this small movie, blah, 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 blah. I says, okay. I get the fucking script. I read the script. I love the fucking script. I says, I'd like to come in and talk with the director and everything. And they said, yeah, man, come on in, blah, blah. So I come in and here goes James Wan sitting in the chair and Lee Wanell and everything. And I get introduced to them and shake the hand and stuff like that. I got the script, my notes. And James Wan is Asian. And he goes, hey, how you doing, Mike? Blah, blah. And I'm like, and I started laughing. And he fucking looks at me. I go, I'm sorry. I never thought of that voice coming out of you, because he had a thick Australian accent.
Yeah.
And, he's this Asian guy or whatever. So we started laughing and everything else. And I apologized. And he says, no, it's all cool, blah, blah, blah. So they showed me the footage what they did to sell the movie. So I looked at the footage and everything, and then I said to Lee Wanell, I says, was that thing made out of steel? And it was fucking huge,
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, I hurt my neck, being inside this thing and going around and blah, blah. I says, do you have it with you? He goes, oh, no. The guy who made it for us, he decided to keep it and stuff, but we wanted it in the movie. I says, well, I read the script and there's no guy doing this. It's a chick, an actress. And he says, yeah. And he says, her name's Shawnee. And I says, yeah, I know Shawnee. She's like skinny little chick and everything. And he says, yeah. He says, we can't put this on a fucking head. They go, yeah. I says, I'll keep some of the features, but I'm going to redesign this. I'm going to make it out of aluminum. He says, okay. Why aluminum? Well, keep it light. And I'm only going to put aluminum things on it and stuff. We want to keep it real light. I'm going to put padding in it that you won't be able to see. La, 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 la. So I end up building this thing out of aluminum. One of my guys welds the pieces up and everything. We designed it with sprockets on it and everything, trying to keep some of the features of the original. And then I'm looking at it. I'm going, it don't look tough enough. So I go to a swap meet. And I'm walking around the swap meet and I'm trying to look for aluminum things to put on this. And I find a brake mechanism from a bike that's made out of aluminum. I go, that looks pretty cool. Get that. Oh, and then I see some aluminum gears. Okay, I'm going to take those. Then I seen somebody selling chemistry set shit and everything. And there was these holders for chemistry sets that were made out of aluminum. Well, these look pretty cool. And these aluminum bolts, they look pretty fucking cool. And then the topper was an old adding machine that I seen, and I bought it. And when I took it home, I knew it was an old mechanical one. It had no electric shit at all, or battery powered. When I took it apart, it had all these gears and everything. And I says, this thing is going to look really cool on the back because it has all the numbers. Because the whole gag was numbers are going down and this fucking thing goes off. I put the whole thing together. I bring it in. They fucking love it. They said, yeah, it's fucking great. Okay. So a couple of days later, a week later or something, we're getting ready to film this thing. I got on my trailer and stuff. Prop chick comes in and she says, hey Tom, the director wants this on the back of it. And she has this stopwatch. This is why? Well, he wants it because he wants to push the stopwatch and see, and it's a black face stopwatch. And I'm like, okay, so can I like drill through it? No, it's an antique. We rented it. Well, what the fuck? Can I glue it onto the back of it? No, you can't put glue on this thing. We got to bring it back to the place that we rented the fucking thing from. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm on my trailer. I'm looking around and I see an old jar of Vaseline. And I take the old jar of Vaseline that has a cap on it. The caps don't screw off, they pop off. It's made out of metal. I look at this fucking thing. I look at the watch. I cut a fucking hole in it. I cut a hole in the top of it. I stick the watch inside of it. I jam a bunch of clay to hold the watch inside of it. I take the cap. I put a screw through the cap into the back of this fucking thing. I could push the top of it, and now the stopwatch works. Okay, we need you on set, Tom. All right, here it comes. That's how that happened.
That's really quick. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to, in my job, you have to shoot from the hip. And that's what we ended up doing on that.
Wow, I would have never have thought that. And the rest of it, and then as we all know, the Saw franchise is a staple in horror. And
Yeah.
I think Blumhouse, they just bought the rights to it. They get to
That's what I heard. I heard James Bond is back with them, or he's going to help on it or something. Yeah, it's cool. I'm happy for him. The thing that blew me away the most on it and stuff, but besides them taking all the rest of Canada, was that the original poster for the first one is Shawnee wearing
Yeah.
the reverse bear trap.
Oh yeah.
And they changed the poster and they started using a poster with just a severed arm and another one with a severed leg. You know why?
Why?
Because I got a hold of them and I said, that's mine you're using on your poster. I own it. I own the reverse bear trap. I designed it, I built it, and you rented it from me.
Ah.
So they were like,
Yeah.
put on the brakes, wait a minute, and stuff. As a matter of fact, they wanted the reverse bear trap when they put the CD out, New Line Cinema, needed the reverse bear trap to show to everybody, we have this new DVD, blah, 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 kind of a thing. They had to rent it from me and pay for one of my guys to bring it, take care of it, and bring it back to me because I did not trust anybody after that. And I still own pretty much all the rights to the reverse bear trap. Of course, James Wan and Lee Wanell came up with it.
Yep.
But the one that's featured inside the movie is my design, and they rented it from me.
Yeah, because you redesigned it. You had a new look for it. So,
Right.
yep.
And I didn't build it on their payroll, so they don't own it. They actually had to pay me $150 to rent it from me.
Wow. And that's something you see, like, whenever me personally, whenever I think of Saw, that's one of the things I think of, between obviously Billy the Puppet, but the bear trap, like, when you even say bear trap to a horror fan, we know what it is.
Yeah, and you go to Halloween mask places and stuff, and they're all over the place, and they look like shit. And people build them, and they look like shit. And I sell the blueprints on eBay.
Oh, wow.
If anybody wanted the blue, and there's only like 10 left. I only made 250 of them, and I sign them all, and I number each one of them. And there's only like 10 left on eBay right now. And that's it. I made copies of the blueprints, and I sell them on eBay.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, so a horror collector wants something, for their collection. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll write custom shit on it. People ask me, and I've sold them all over, and I've sold them from like Saudi Arabia to wherever. I mean, I get fucking orders, Australia, everywhere, Puerto Rico, wherever. People are buying them. A lot in the United States, but England, Germany, everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's it.
No, it's good. We love the stories. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah. I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry.
But keep it all.
It's phenomenal. Oh, this is great. I would
It's edit this stuff to like 10 minutes.
no, we're going out the full thing. This full thing is going out. No, this is incredible. I
Yeah.
people are gonna love this. This is really
Yeah.
a jewel.
I'll do it again with you sometime if you think of other things that you want to talk to me about or ask me about or whatever and stuff. No problem whatsoever.
Town that-
Are you fully retired now? Or are you kind of like working maybe, like, or just done shop?
I worked about a month and a half ago. I put a day in with my kids. I had to do some stuff. They were doing a Netflix thing. I keep all my license up, so I blow stuff up and everything, and put things on fire and whatnot, legally.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like I said, I'm in Florida right now. I travel every month. I'm at least on 2 airplanes. So, I fly to Florida. I hang out in Florida. I got a house down here. Then I fly back to Los Angeles, spend the holidays. Then I fly back here. Then I fly back there. I'm gonna be in Spain right after Christmas. So I'm always traveling. But yeah, when my kids need me, or if a close friend like Shannon Thompson, needs me or whatever, they call me up and I come in and I help out. I don't mind helping out at all. I get paid for it too.
Great.
But I'm not looking to work. I'm enjoying the shit out of life right now. And so I put too many hours in already. So, but that's that.
Life is good. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. Definitely much deserved. And we appreciate you taking the time, Tom. Seriously, it means the world.
Thank
And
you so much.
definitely
Not a pleasure.
anyway, I know I enjoy this conversation. I know many people are gonna be, thrilled to hear it, and hope to have you on again soon.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much
No problem
for your
whatsoever.
time. Thank you for the stories.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I'll see you around. Dan, I'll be talking to you online and stuff like that and everything. And if you guys ever have any other questions for me, and Dan, I'll get in contact with you and get you one of my books. Okay, bro?
Awesome. I appreciate the time. Seriously, I'm looking forward to diving in. It means a lot. It really does.
No problem. Yeah, the one that I sent you online, I'll just get rid of that if I remember. Okay.
Awesome. No, it sounds like a
It's
plan.
amazing.
All right.
Cool. All right, guys. Another episode down.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for Tom for joining us, and we'll see you back here very soon.
All right, man. You take care of yourself. Good talking to you guys, and I hope I didn't talk your ear off.
No, definitely not. No, I
It's
love it.
amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.